So the camera's working, hopefully. So we'll go on to the second verse. Realizing how this body of liberties and endowments, I like freedoms and fortunes. Actually, I have another translation of this I might bring in. Realizing that this body of freedoms and fortunes is found but once, is difficult to obtain, and is easily lost. Inspire us to partake of its essence, make it worthwhile, and not be distracted by the meaningless affairs of this life. So this is incredibly important. Yeah. Because this whole verse involves realizing that the human life we have is something very special and precious. It isn't an ordinary human life. Not all human beings have precious human lives. Precious human lives have the 8 freedoms, the 10 fortunes. Okay, so not everybody has those. And at one point in our life, we didn't even have all of them. Okay, so now when we have them, it's incredibly important to realize that, and then to think, what is the meaning and purpose of our life? You know, we have this incredible opportunity. What can we do with it? Yeah. And most people in society just think, oh, the meaning of my life is make money, have a family, get a job I like. When they think of, in terms of legacies, I'll leave my genes in the gene pool and, leave some descendants, or I'll, teach somebody who will carry on my way of doing things. And, when people think of the meaning and purpose of their life, so often it's so small, And some people don't even think very much about the meaning and purpose of their lives. Society has so much conditioning. Our families give so much conditioning that many people just are conditioned by society, by their families, and never think beyond that. Or they never have the space in the mind or the space in their lives. They have too many economic problems. They live in a war zone. There's too much fractious fighting politically in the country. They're too ill. They have no education. There's so many things that can interfere with even thinking, about what's the meaning and purpose in my life. Yeah, I mean, when they were coming from the East Coast over to the West Coast in the days of the covered wagons, they didn't have time to think about what's the meaning of my life, Some of our parents who grew up during the Depression, did they think about the meaning of life? They were just trying to eat. So, and that's just in this country, which has it good, So, it's now that we have this freedom and fortune, we need to really think about that and think deeply about the meaning and purpose of our life. And then, once that becomes clear in our mind, then go for it without being distracted by all sorts of attachments and self-centered things and, helping our friends, harming our enemies, getting praise and avoiding blame and all these kinds of things. So I think this whole reflection, and we'll go into it deeper in the next days, is so important, otherwise what are we doing? We're not really living a life. We're just living on automatic. Yeah, doing what we've been taught to do without ever thinking about it. Yeah. And so how can you make your life meaningful if you don't think what's the meaning and purpose of it? Yeah. So, very important to think about, and not only think about, but act upon. Some people think about it, they see the importance of transforming their mind, and they have faith in Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, and attaining enlightenment. But, want to get married, want to have kids, want to climb up the corporate ladder, want to go on holiday, so many things they want to do in their life. Go here, go there, do this, do that, see the 8 wonders of the world, see travel to the pyramids, or, all the sorts of things people want to do, have a great social life, play golf, look at the football team, all this kind of stuff. And they do it, and they're distracted. Yeah, they might have some feeling of meaning and purpose, but it's not a deep feeling because the mind very easily gets distracted towards amusement, entertainment, all sorts of worldly pursuits. And then pretty soon death comes, and when death comes, you can't play the rewind button, and say, I wish I had done this or that in my life. When death comes, we're off. There's no way to go but forward. Yeah? And our whole life, there's no way to